I got a tools to live by for you, which is something that I've actually thought about, but a listener is dealing with it right now. Tools to live by, of course, is brought to you by Veyer Watches, who provides our daily uh, tool for telling time.
When was the last time you were on Vair's website?
This week I was on Veyer's website. And by the way, if you go to Veyer's website, save 15% by going veyerwatches.com/surfsplendor.
I was legit there. When I was first introduced to Vair watches, I felt that they had like a three watch kind of offering.
Mm,
And I kind of assumed that's still where it was, like a limited offering. I honestly went on 20 minutes before right this show, just wondering what was there. They have like a wide variety of phenomenal watches on there, like from proper luxury, like Swiss made luxury watches to like honest, good price point, does the job watches.
totally. Yeah, traditional, I'd say kind of traditional aesthetics, like dive watches, field watches. They've
Oh
got a
yeah,
couple
it
dress
doesn't go
watches.
weird. No,
Yeah,
it's all exactly what you want. But the range, I suppose, quite honestly shocked me. And also, like, of course, they're all American assembled, phenomenal Japanese parts or Swiss parts or whatever.
yeah,
But they also have full Swiss part made in Switzerland watches.
exactly. For the highest tier.
Yeah.
So yeah, wide range, veyerwatches.com/surf splendor. Glad that you checked them out and recognized the quality of what they're doing over there. Um, okay, this listener chimed in or wrote in and said, David and Chaz, please advise about whether or not to go on a professionally coached surf trip. I've seen these popping up where they're basically you're paying for the whole trip plus the fee of having a surf coach the whole time. The benefits they offer are, arranging the accommodation, transport in the country, video and photography in and out of the water, and coaching and feedback. So that makes sense. But on the other hand, you're going on a surf trip to the Maldives or Central America, and it would be cool to have coaching to help maximize your abilities in good waves. Lord knows every surfer could use coaching, whether they admit it or not. And maybe a few days with a coach and video feedback could advance the surfer's abilities faster than they would learn naturally. But on the other hand, if you're going on a trip with your buds, don't you want to just surf and not have to worry about progressing? Also, I'd feel like a kook if someone was coaching me in real time out of the water. I see the merits of both twerk and work, boys.
I'm gonna say if you have the resources to go on a coach, I would fully do it, to be honest. Like the subtle joys, I feel learning. Damn it. The French or Hemi got into the Paris Opera Ballet, which
Oh,
is,
congrats.
yeah, it's a
Oh
major,
my
major
gosh.
one. So yeah, like I think I mean, one of the most prestigious, if not the, I mean, yeah, what am I saying? It's the most prestigious ballet
Huge.
school. And yeah, and so she has to get her. But yeah, unlike ballet schools here, the yeah, for her other ones, she has to get like a physical and stuff. The French are like, what medicine are we allowed to give her? And you just have to have a doctor stamp it that we can give her this stuff. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
So she's going to France for this.
Yeah, you're going to Paris.
Amazing, dude.
Yep. The Paris Opera Ballet.
Amazing. Congrats. That's huge.
Yeah, you can put that little call that it won't violate her HIPAA. It's all good.
Right, right. So going on a professionally coached surf trip.
Is epic, right? I mean, speaking of right there, a ballet school calling in, like that's what I've realized that learning, I think, or yeah, learning, we put a cap on at some point where, and I think he clearly recognized that there is value there. I think there's a lot of value there. And of course, this is apples and oranges here. Of going on a buddy surf trip is one thing, but if you have the means and time to go on a coach, I mean, I would imagine a coach surf trip would take anybody's, like if you went with Brad Gerlach, right? And
Yeah,
his wave key somewhere. I don't know if he does that. Does
he
Brad do
does.
that?
Yeah, he does. Well, they put him up at a resort in the Maldives. Niyama brings him out and he stays there for like a month or so and coaches their guests. So they
Which
advertise it.
which if you're and I would imagine if you're just like a guest going and then this is on offer and you do it and you're like, okay, cool, and you do it and then you might get something out of it. But if you're going on a trip specifically to improve, I think that you would probably improve 30 or 40%, like all the dumb little bad habits you're doing. And I guess the thing about this is, uh, you can't keep doing them. You'd have to do one or two and be done with it because I feel that we have so many bad baked in things at this age, or even, past 25. Like you're already baked in where you can kick up 30%. If you do another one, code surf trip, you can probably get 36% better as a surfer. But that
Yeah.
would be it.
Yeah. I think for me, when this came across, it was more a matter of like, um, do I want to work on a surf trip or do I want to just cruise? And I used to think it was kooky to really try with stuff, and I'm kind of past that point now where it's actually cool to try. Like it actually feels good to try and it feels good to improve. And the not wanting to do that as an older person, I think you just become older. Like
I'm,
part of staying young is committing to the process and trying harder and wanting to get better and all that sort of stuff.
I think you hit the nail absolutely on the head of like being old is not necessarily an age thing. It is your brain is starting to calcify. And if you still
Yeah,
think,
exactly.
I want to go get better where to our, so for this tool to live by, I'd say embrace if you can, like if it's either or, right? If it's either I go on a surf trip with a coach to get better, or I go with the bros and have fun, you can weigh that out, I feel. I'd still say go with you've done how many bro surf trips have you done in your life? Like
Yeah.
10, 30? I mean, go see if you can actually improve your surfing. Why
Yeah.
not?
I would be a little discriminate about who the professional coach is because I've seen
Definitely.
some guys on Instagram whose names I don't know, but they are doing this for a living now. But then there's also Alex Gray, who is offering these experiences. And so if you can go with somebody like Gerlach and Alex Gray, that's a no-brainer. And maybe the other coaches on Instagram that I'm not aware of are also very good and qualified. I don't know. But like the other thing is there's so many little small insights that somebody like Alex Gray or Gerlach have that make a big, big difference that don't actually require that much effort. And you just, like you said, your baked in habits are just there by rote. You just get up and you do something because that's the way you've always done it. But it's equally as easy to implement the change. And as soon as somebody points out that change and you see the benefits of it and you're surfing better and you're feeling better, it's like, it's a no brainer. Why wouldn't you do it?
36% of them though. I
Yeah.
think there's a 67%. 60, 36, 64%? 64% that is never going to change. I mean, yeah,
Or would
if
take that much more time on land lifting weights to get the
oh my,
change
I
to
mean,
implement.
I even watch though, I mean, back to the ballets, like at daughter's ballet studio, uh the master teacher will no longer really accept 13-year-olds from other studios now
Oh,
because
wow.
they have too many bad habits that she can't break, right? At
Yeah,
13.
yeah.
These are 13-year-old girls and they have enough baked in bad habits that aren't going to change, which makes me think, oh yeah, as a 47-year-old man, imagine how many surf bad baked in habits where for sure. Brad Gerlach can say, hey, pop up this way, da, 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 and I'll be able to, I think 36%, and that's after two. I think you can change whatever, whatever percentage initially, but you can never change all your bad habits.
Yeah,
We are baked at this point.
totally.
But
But
still, totally worth it. Like imagine surfing 30% better than you do now. Like imagine surfing even 15% better would be would feel mind blowing, would feel like a whole new body, a whole new world. Where to me,
completely.
that's absolutely worth going on a coach surf trip.
Yeah, completely. That's funny. I thought you were going to come down as this is definitely a nah. So I'm glad to hear that we are aligned in our quest to improve our mediocrity.
I mean, improve. I mean, you said it though. It is the calcification. That's what ages you. That's
Yeah.
when you start like yelling at the clouds and whatever, right? Like that's when you are tipped off the cliff. And I ain't talking about living forever like Joe Rogan or Shane Dorian. I'm talking about thinking I can still improve and I should still try to improve.
Yeah.
Like, at what point do you just give up? And I think so many people do just give up, right? It's like, nope, this is who I am. This is how I am. Like, across everything from intellectually to I don't do math, can't do math. I mean, I had to stinking teach my daughter math. I was the worst ever. I mean, my math skill capped out, I realized teaching her in like fifth grade is when I went off the cliff. And so but I've had to reteach myself now.
Yeah.
And I realized, oh, I actually I can do like fractions and stuff now. I've taught, like, your brain wants to figure this stuff out. Just figure it out.
See, but I do like to let the calcification set in on a Friday evening.
Oh my goodness.
By about 7 o'clock, it's like, all right, I worked
Calcified
hard
time.
all week. Let me just shut it off entirely and melt into the sofa and eat way too many calories. And
It's
but
beauty.
then but it is only good for a limited amount of time. And it's also only good if that day I did something meaningful that was like, the equivalent of push-ups, basically.
Yep. I mean, it's the yin and yang, I suppose.